going on, everyone? Today we got to talk about Somnia. So Somnia is a gaming project. If you guys have not heard of Somnia, it's like a gaming network. So we're going to talk about Somnia and what I think is coming next inside of Somnia, and also shout out to the members of the channel. A member of the channel actually requested for me to go over Somnia, so we're going to talk about it right now. Go ahead and become a member of the channel, guys. It's only $9.99 per month. So go ahead and do that. You can have me go over any project. Anyways, remember, I'm not a financial advisor. None is financial advice. But let's go over Somnia. So as I was mentioning before, Somnia is like a gaming project. So it's the blockchain for gaming and entertainment, offering 1 million plus TPS sub-second finality. So Somnia, they're trying to be like the blockchain of games, right? So you know how there's gaming projects on all these different blockchain. Well, they want to be the blockchain that has all the gaming projects. They want to be the blockchain of gaming projects. I really don't like their website. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think it's neat. I just feel like it's a little bit too much, right? You know, simplify it a little bit more. I always say this every time I come back to their website. They should simplify it a lot more. It's a little bit hard to see. Yeah, you can zoom in and stuff. But I don't know. Maybe make it a little bit more simplified. But all in all, Somnia seems to be moving in the right direction. You know, they're still getting listings. They just now got listed to Beconomy, and they got listed here today, actually, to this exchange Beconomy. And it's actually a pretty big exchange as well. So it's definitely good that they are still getting listings and stuff like that. But, you know, other than that, you know, they're trying to be like, you know, the new layer 1 blockchain on the map, right? So we're always going to see like a lot of projects starting slow like this, you know, when they're starting. So, you know, right now it might not be big, but I think in the future, Somnia might be able to get some market share, might be able to get in people's faces. But, you know, we are nearing the end of this bull market. I feel like we're nearing the end of this thing, guys. Like it's starting to get really shaky around here. So on the next peak, I would say projects like new projects, they're more high risk. So on this next peak, when we start to go back into a bear market, just know like little projects like Somnia and all these newer projects, like they're not going to be the ones that you guys want to be in on, especially if it's like a newer layer 1 or like a new layer 2, you know, or, you know, any of those layer 1s or layer 2s that are new, they're on the block, the new on the block, you know, trying to garner attention. Whenever we go in a bear market, these are going to be the ones that get hit the most. And we've seen this actually when Bitcoin started to dump. A lot of the new projects like this that just launched, you know, they did the worst because, you know, they're just new, they're higher risk. Nobody knows about them. Nobody knows if this is legit or not. So, you know, it just sells off easier. Whenever the overall market sells off, it starts to sell off more. So that's kind of why we've seen Somnia dump so hard, because when it launched, you know, it was doing extremely well. It was in front of everybody's faces. But then the second the crashing started happening in Bitcoin and the overall market, you know, projects like Somnia just started dumping. You know, they all just started dumping, and they're all like these newer projects. So you guys got to be careful with these. But anyway, Somnia has been pretty flat for the last week. 2.5% up in the last week, 1% in the last 24 hours. Still down 41% in the last 30 days. 83.7 million in market cap. Fully diluted value 522 million. That's a huge discrepancy between the fully diluted value and the market cap. And then the 24-hour trading volume at 27 million. So, you know, we're kind of moving up here inside the world with Somnia, kind of moving up here. But anyways, let's go ahead and go over what we got here. So the first pattern that we have right here, well, first there's multiple patterns, right? This was one pattern that I was checking, which was a falling wedge. And first, this falling wedge right here, it's already pretty much over. So we had a falling wedge, but we pretty much hit the end of that falling wedge. And then we also have this right here, which is an a descending triangle, which is actually a bearish signal. And then we had that falling wedge, which was supposed to be a bullish signal, right? So we have a bunch of false signals. And then we have right here another falling wedge that's building up, which actually pretty much built up inside of almost all projects. and now it's going up out of the falling wedge. The falling wedge is supposed to be a bullish pattern, but really usually when you come into it from a uptrend. But see, we came into it from a downtrend, so there's still a possibility that there could be a bull trap up here, guys. Still a possibility. And look at how the second it got to that area in the ascending triangle, it immediately rejected. Look at how it immediately rejected, and now it's riding the trend line of the ascending, or the descending triangle is riding the trend line of the descending triangle. So that's pretty interesting to see here inside of Somnia. The risk that we do run here inside of Somnia is really a pullback to these lower levels around like 45 cents, somewhere around there. So if it were to have like a big pullback, we would be looking for that bottom area down there, that bottom support area for Somnia. So I would kind of put it down here, like right around, give or take right around this 47-cent area. Multiple times it's hit it right up here, right up there. And you can see maybe a little bit back here. Not really back there, but still, we've still hit it a couple times up here. So that's one support area that I guess you guys can watch out for, 47 cents. If Somnia continues to pull back, we don't want to see it pulling below 47 cents, because then it is going towards the price that it once was, all the way back down here, right? It is going to go all the way down to where close to launching price, and we don't want to see it at launching price, right? That's not going to be a good thing for Somnia. But anyways, I still think that this could be a good project, but personally, when it comes to newer projects like this, just know when we get into the bear market, be careful. There's a reason why Somnia dumped so hard once everything went down. There's a reason. But anyways, if it does pump, right, if the whole overall market starts to pump, then we could see Somnia breaking out towards about 67 cents. So I would say start eyeing that area. That's a good target area and that's just going to be the first area it goes when it first breaks out. And then that's going to determine whether or not it's bearish or not, or bullish or not. And again, we should be able to break out with flying colors if the overall market is going up as well. But at this point, these newer projects like Somnia, they're really depending on either big news or Bitcoin in the overall market rallying. If there's no big news for Somnia and there's no overall crypto rally, then it's not going to go up. And I'm just being real there. And this is the truth with a lot of these newer projects. So definitely be careful here with those guys. But anyways, this is pretty much all I got for you guys today. Shout out to the member of the channel that recommended me to come over and go over Somnia. Big shout out to you. But yeah, I can't say that I would be focused on Somnia. Personally, it's not a project that I would be interested in buying in. I probably wouldn't be doing much with this project, me personally. I have made videos on it in the past, but Somnia doesn't really pique my interest in like a project. So it is what it is. I'm more focused on coins built on other chains. I'm not really focused on finding good layer ones right now. Not really focused on finding good layer ones, and really even layer twos and stuff like that. I'd rather just find a project that's like built on another chain, that's just part of the ecosystem, because you can easily get in and out of it. Whereas with your layer ones, your layer twos, you just got to do stuff like bridging and stuff like that, and it's not worth it when you're trading, right? And that's kind of how I do things. I just trade. I like to get in and out, and honestly, that's gonna be the future of how crypto is about to start looking, guys. It's gonna be people who are just trying to get in and out of coins. They don't even care about the project, and that's why you're seeing like a lot of these projects that actually have use cases. These projects like Somnia that actually have a dream, actually have a goal behind it. Like they pump really hard on launch, and then after launch, they just end up dumping, and they might come back. And then when they come back, hopefully they can last. But once the bear market comes, like for the overall crypto market, these projects are gonna be right back down. So even if Somnia does start pumping, I guarantee it's probably going to be back at the lower 100 million market cap, right? Like let's see Somnia goes up to like 500 million or 600 million. Nothing's stopping it from dumping all the way back down to 100 million or lower than 100 million like it is now. Nothing stopping it from doing that. And it more than likely will once the bear market comes in. So I would say be very careful with the bear market. Just don't try to come into a project like Somnia and be like, oh, I'm gonna hold it to $10. I'm gonna hold it till it gets to $10 so I can 10x my money. This project might not go 10x, and this bull market is almost over. So you're gonna be caught holding the bag if you try to do something like that. So a lot of these projects, we're not gonna be able to do what we did in other rallies, in other bull rallies. So I do kind of want to change my predictions on some of the projects that I've done price predictions for, because I'm gonna probably lower the price target for them, because it seemed like we're nearing the end of this market. So I'm gonna be making a lot of videos, a lot of new videos with new price predictions for all the coins, and they're gonna be lower than what the other ones said, than what the other price prediction videos were. So don't get mad at me. Just can't get mad at the player, just hate the game. This is the crypto game here. Like, sometimes the prices don't reach your targets, but you have to be realistic to yourself, and then you have to come back to reality, and you have to make a more realistic prediction. Even if you don't like it, you still have to do it sometimes. But yeah, anyways, where do I see Somnia going for the end of this bull market? So since we're already kind of on the topic here of Somnia, where would I see Somnia going? Honestly, I wouldn't be looking for Somnia to do much, but and let's just be completely honest, a lot of projects aren't going to do as good as some people say and some people think. So I would give Somnia about maybe $3. We're gonna go ahead and take, because look at the fully diluted value, and then look at the circulating supply. Circulating supply is 160 million. The total supply is 1 billion, and then the fully diluted value is 522 million. So even if Somnia does something like $3, if you take into account the fully diluted value, then it's really a lot higher than that. So you kind of gotta be a little more realistic with your prediction, because if you're not, and let's say some of those coins get released back into the market somehow, like they get unlocked or they get released back into the market, now that's going to drive down the market cap if these coins get unlocked. So that's why when I see projects, I like seeing the circulating supply and the total supply and the max supply being all the same. Unless the money for the circulating supply is burned, I want it to all be the same. And for Somnia, it's not burned. If you go and look at the contract, and I haven't even looked at the contract, I'm not even gonna lie, but if you go there and you look at like holders and stuff, you're not gonna see a burn wallet with 80% of the supply. Like, so those coins, they got to be locked somewhere or something, and eventually what's locked becomes unlocked, and eventually that money might just hit the circulation, and that will significantly drop the price. So I think Somnia is actually one of those private chains where like they don't show you all the holders' wallets. So yeah, they're more in tune to what crypto is supposed to be. But yeah, anyways, shout out to all the members of the channel. Hit the like button, subscribe. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor. None of this is financial advice. Go ahead and become a member of the channel, guys. It's only $9.99. I'll go over any project that you guys want me to go over next. And again, like I was saying, like $3 possibly, for the Somnia prediction, guys. $3 possibly. That would put it at a 480 million market cap. But then the fully diluted value would actually be at like that would be 4.8 billion or 3 billion or something like that. Let's go ahead and do the math for that. Let's take 1 billion and multiply it. Oh, okay, yeah. So it would be 3. So yeah, that would be 3 billion inside of market cap. So I don't know, guys. So can Somnia really do that inside a fully diluted value 3 billion? I don't know. Can it do 480 million inside of actual market cap? I don't know. So honestly, what I would target for Somnia, I want things to be as realistic as possible for people. I would say we would be lucky to see the previous all-time high. We would be lucky to see that. And we would be extremely lucky if it went all the way up to $3, right? But I would say anywhere from the previous all-time high to about $2.40, because that's like right above that Fibonacci there. But there's a possibility that it doesn't get back up there. So you know, this is about the time where you got to start being more realistic with your predictions. But yeah, shout out to all the people out there. Again, hit the like button, subscribe, become a member of the channel, all that good stuff. But yeah, as always, I'll be back with another video.